Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Swaggy Doggy. So I'm exploring like a new medium, because like Clubhouse is taking off. So I'm just gonna be doing like an audio only sort of excerpt. And today I want to be talking about. This is kind of like, so I'm reading like Carl Sagan's book, The Cosmic Connection, and it kind of makes me think about like certain things, right? That's written in the book. So the book is basically about like our place in like the cosmos, right? And I want to talk about like just people, just humanity, right? As like sort of like I try to like distance myself from like us as a species and stuff, and try to take a look and examine what I see. So I think most people would agree, right, that we're parasitic species, right?
Yeah.
Nothing new, no new thought there, but you know.
Yeah.
What I want to say is that
Parasitic species, yeah.
in the future,
What?
first let's talk about like human beings. The fact that you have to like take care of your, like, you have a body, right? You have to take care of this body. You have to nourish your body.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for example, you have to clean yourself.
Right.
You have to feed yourself. You have to groom yourself. And then you have all these like biological like urges, right? Like your sex drive, yada yada yada, right? Mainly the sex drive. It is such a distracting drive, right?
Yeah.
And there may be other ones, but
for sure,
that's like the biggest sort of the thing that sticks out the most. And this is also tiring, like constantly having to placate or pacify yourself in terms of like eating food, cleaning yourself, and the sex stuff. But this is all so tiring, isn't it? I mean,
I'd say so, yeah.
The ultimate goal, I think what people don't realize is, to sort of become a brain in a jar or a brain in a vat. So the brain in a vat theory basically talks about how, how do you know that everything is really there? What if you're just a brain in a vat, in a jar, that's being sent like these electrical stimulations, and so you're sort of like being made to like see and think and hear everything that's around you. So it's basically like, nothing's really here. It's just, you're just a brain in a jar that's being given these like electrical sort of simulations, and it's making you like envision and hear and touch and all the senses. Like it's tricking you into thinking like this is all really here. Well, I want to borrow from that, and I want to say that the ultimate goal of our species should be to become not a brain in a jar and sort of put ourselves in like this false state of experiencing something that isn't there. Rather, it should be to remove ourselves from this organic body and perhaps put our brain in something like a robot, right? Like a cyborg. Our ultimate goal should be to become a cyborg, because once we are a cyborg, we can rid ourselves of so many problems that currently plague, like our species, I think, right? So you have like, you have so many problems that come with having a human body, right? Just a body. It's really, why try to fix a broken body when you can just get rid of it entirely, right? So, you may think, I mean, this is definitely one of the things that humanity should work toward, and it has been a long time coming. A lot of people have been predicting that we are going to be augmenting our bodies with technology. And lo and behold, right? All those years ago, people have been talking about this, or as if it's science fiction, and lo and behold, here comes. It was always bound to happen, and it's happening now in the shape and form of Elon Musk and his company called Neuralink, right? Just project that out and onto the future. Like, what do you think is going to happen in a decade from now? We are going to have cyborgs. I mean, right now the goal of Neuralink is to sort of augment, right? Is to sort of improve the current human body, but it's not so far removed from reality that in the future you could just replace the human body. That could also be one way to achieve immortality. You know, how Neuralink, one of its applications could be to enable people who have some sort of spinal damage or paralysis to be able to move their limbs again, right? Just get rid of the body. Just put your brain in a cyborg, right? Or augment your body, right? Could we achieve immortality in this way? I don't know. Possibly. I think it's a very good chance we could. So I think this is definitely the way in which we're headed, and this decade is going to be an exciting decade. This decade is going to be really, really exciting. And this was always bound to happen. This was always going to happen. And part of the reason why I sort of upload these things is to sort of achieve immortality, right? Because if you've not seen the movie Her, I suggest you go take a look at it, because I'm not going to talk about like some of the concepts in Her. So in Her, basically what happens is, we have like AI, and people sort of interact with AI on a daily basis. And what this AI can do is it can read up on material of like biographies, stories of people, autobiographies, and then recreate those personalities. So in a way, in a faux way, those personalities, those individuals, they come back to life in a faux way, right? They're still they're not really obviously like the same human being, the same conscious. I mean, maybe they are the same consciousness. The point is, as long as there's sufficient like material on the individual, the AI can like recreate that individual and their consciousness. So maybe sometime in the future, like I'll come back to life because of my YouTube videos. So I just want to put as much as myself as I possibly can out there. But maybe I could poison it too, right? And then I could just sort of portray this image or put out these messages in which I portray myself as a certain way that I'm actually not. And then in the future, that AI is going to be a certain way that I'm actually like not in my real life. Yeah, just to think about it, there's no way those AI recreations in Her could be like as detailed as the real person that lived, because let's face it, like a couple of books or videos on a person, they aren't really going to it's going to be impossible to like recreate that person like to the T. Yeah. So I mean, that's one way you could achieve. I mean, it's not really immortality, it's kind of like faux immortality, right? It's false immortality. But the cyborg way, the way in which we're headed, so we're headed like we're doing both things, right? Like the AI thing, and that's a possibility, and the cyborg thing is definitely a possibility, and it's just, I cannot wait until that day when we finally shed ourselves of this shell and then what will be left? What will be left to hate other people based on? What will be left to judge other people on? Nothing physical, right? Appearances won't matter anymore. Anyways, this has been a sort of 10-minute just train of thought. And enjoy. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Right, but I kind of